I am a coffee fan. I'm not a coffee fanatic, though. You know, I know a lot of people could talk about coffee like, you know, I could talk about beer. I did decide that since it was such a relatively easy ingredient or common ingredient to work with, that I would try to challenge myself a little bit more by using it in ways that you wouldn't normally encounter. The first thing that I did to kind of take myself outside of the comfort zone a little bit was to age the lamb. And I cured in a coffee brine and then dried them out and applied the cure. After that, you can still see some residual grinds on there, which I was also concerned with because, again, burnt coffee grinds, everybody knows that bitter, unpleasant flavor of burnt coffee. Bitterness being the primary challenge, it was actually somewhat in my comfort zone, since being a beer bar by nature, by virtue of the beer, we encounter quite a few bitter flavors. One of the alternative ways that I like to use the wood grill is for roasting directly in front of the coal. Left enough of the fat cap on to insulate it against the intense heat of the wood fire, and I'm gonna start that. Again, no seasoning, no oil or anything. The fat is enough to lubricate itself, and the cure seasoned it for me as well, so there's really nothing left for me to do. Decided to incorporate a lamb jus, which used an espresso blend. I also incorporated a coffee porter from Two Brothers, the Red Eye porter, and so that's a fairly standard jus with the exception of the incorporation of the beer and the coffee, and there's some cherry in there. So that's just about a minute in front of the fire. We're already getting a pretty nice rendering of the fat. We have carrot puree is fairly basic. We got some really nice organic carrots from Green and Green, our produce co-op from Wisconsin. Pear, got fennel here, same deal. We actually used Greg Hall's got a new hard cider company that he started, and we decided that wonderful hard cider red streak would be a good braising liquid for the pear and the fennel, so we infused some thyme. And now I've got my smoked cherries that are still macerating in the molasses and coffee porter. I kind of played around with the cherries a little bit. I knew I wanted to smoke them, and at the last second I thought I might try tossing some coffee grounds to the smoker, and I let that go on for a minute or two before I decided I was gonna pussy out.
I'm really happy with it. I would be very happy to pay for this.
I think as a coffee challenge I could probably have found a little bit more opportunity to incorporate the flavor of the coffee itself. I'm not getting as much coffee flavor as I am the aroma, which again I'm kind of torn on, because as a dish I think it's better for it. For anyone who's cooked long enough to have worked in restaurants, you know, there are fewer and farther between in the serious dining scene now, but the ubiquitous curly parsley sprig as garnish is the worst nightmare of any serious chef.